So we're in chapter 21. And as I mentioned, this is sort of a skip chapter. That is, we're only reading certain portions of it, and the rest of it we're not going to bother with. And I want to talk to you about a concept that's in there called documents of title. A document of title, actually we used to call it document title. Now, with these days, with electronic everything, sometimes called a record of title, record document of title, is issued by a warehouser. As somebody, you go to the warehouse, give them your goods, and in exchange they give you a receipt for it, showing all the goods that you gave to them. And some of those become documents of title, which means that whoever possesses that piece of paper, or the record as the case may be, is deemed to be the owner of the goods that are in the warehouse. And whoever has the warehouse receipt can then give orders to the warehouse to deliver back to them or to ship it somewhere else, whatever the case may be. Those are called negotiable. By negotiable, we don't mean dickering back and forth to argue or bargain about something. It's not what we're talking about. What we're referring to in this one is that you can transfer it. So think of a check for the moment. All right? The check is made out, let's say, to you as payee. And you go to the bank and you sign the back of it. The reason you sign the back of it is to basically what you're doing is negotiating the check. You're signing off saying, okay, now it's not my name anymore, it's whosever name you put in. Bearer. If I had a check and I wanted to pay off you and some written check for $100 to me, I signed the back of it, hand it to you, and now you're good to go. I've negotiated the check. That's all it means is allowing for a transfer of that ownership of that instrument. Remember, instruments here are talking about documents that have legal effect or obligations in them, not what a dentist uses. So, a warehouser can't issue warehouse receipts, and that becomes a document of title when they sign it. Think of it as sprinkling a little bit of fairy dust onto this piece of paper, and magically it becomes transformed from just a piece of paper to evidence of title. Because normally in personal property, we don't have evidence of title. With the exception of things we have to register, cars, boats, trailers, things like that. And there is a paper title that's issued. You have it on your car right now. But for other things, there is no title per se in terms of something written. If I sold one of my guitars to somebody else, there's no title to give them. They own it because they paid for it. We've made the sale, and I transferred all my rights to it, including my ownership of it. But there's no documentation. Here there is. So one is a warehouse receipt, and the second one is something called a bill of lading. You've probably heard of a bill of lading before, something to do with trucking or something like that, right? Well, it kind of does. A bill of lading is similar. A negotiable bill of lading is one in which the trucking company receives the goods for transportation to wherever they're going. And they sign off on it, and they describe all the goods, and they sign it. Once again, they're sort of issuing this out, and that now becomes, with magic fairy dust, becomes a document of title and is evidence of who owns those goods that are with the carrier. It doesn't have to be with the truck. It could be in a boat. It could be in a plane. It's called an air bill. It can be any number of things, but the same ideas work there. So those are documents of title, so you understand that when you're reading through it.